when you're going in the streets of Soweto, you see that those days, 1999, when I started, being interested in doing hair, you will see people doing hair, the likes of Shaga. There's a gentleman called Shaga. He continues being my mentor till today. He continues opening doors for me in the hair industry. And so seeing him doing hair, he really attracted part of me to say, this is what I want to do, I want to make sure that I beautify people. I change people from having a bad hair day to a better hair day. So when I started, there was a gentleman also, he's late, his name was Benjamin Lenekwa. He was a hair educator at Dark and Lovely. He was a brother that stays the same street where I live. So, when you have those little chats and he says, come and try this. And eventually when I started going to the college in terms of their training center, I realized that this is something that I like. This is interesting. And obviously I'm going to be honest to you, those days when we used to look at hair technicians that were there in the beginning, they show us better life in terms of they could afford good cars, they could afford good houses, and there was a lifestyle. So honestly, that also drew me to say, I want to do this. I want to be part of this lifestyle also. I want to make sure that people look good. And there was money in the hair industry. I don't want to lie. There was a lot of money when I started doing hair, when I started training. There were so many opportunities. There was also a show that when I was in the industry that was attracting us, where it was called Golden Scissors Awards. So every stylist in South Africa was looking forward to be part of that hair show. And I also became part of the hair show of the Golden Scissors competition, 2004. We joined Dark and Lovely as hair consultant as we got trained, and the training progressed to better heights. The training progressed that other companies started noticing the passion that was there. But as we move on today, we no longer speak about passion. It's religion to me now, because it's something that we do every time. Oh yes, I mean, we look at the 90s and we compare to today, it's a different game ball now. But we continue to be inspired by the hairstyles that were done in the 90s, because they've just changed differently, but there's new trends that are happening now in the hair industry. Because remember, in the 90s also, what used to happen is that a lot of male clients, they never visited hair salons. They used to probably shave themselves at home. But we find that male grooming is one of the biggest hair service that we have in salons. It's no longer a niche market in terms of salon money, but we see a lot of men grooming, taking a huge good gap in terms of clients coming to salons, men wanting to visit salons versus females these days. So it has changed, but when it comes to females, what used to happen in the 90s is that females are now free-flowing with their hair. They want something that is very easy in terms of hairstyle that they can wear when they go to work, even weekends when they go to church, it's easy. Things have just changed in that particular way. So yes, there has been change, but the biggest one is when we see male grooming becoming one of the biggest in the industry. I think short look still continues to be a winner. I mean, there used to be those hairstyles that in the 90s that we used to see.
My favorites were cut and the current that I'm doing now. But back then they were not doing it exactly like the way Thabo is doing it, actually. Actually, so far, he's the only person that I know who can do this cut. I used to do bob cut, the old ones where you cut the spritz all over your hair from high school. That's what I used to do.
And as I said, Shaga used to do those hairstyles. He was the greatest person doing those hairstyles. So every hairstyle that man did in the 90s, every salon wanted to do the same hairstyle. And Pam was the biggest, obviously. We still find Pam being the biggest hairstyle now, coming back, no longer being Pam. Other people do it. It's called dry curl. And that's the revolution of Pam that we see today. Most females, they say, we want to do dry curl at your salon, and it's similar to Pam, Well, I think when I started, because I started doing hair, obviously, 1999, the beginning of the 2000s, a lot of young men and girls in the community, they showed passion of learning things. We look at today, a lot of them are less interested. If you say you want to train or educate them about doing hair, we found a lot of them are less interested to learn. That's one thing that has changed in the community. But what has also changed is that people today, they understand what they want, especially when it comes to hair. They know exactly what they want. There's technology, they can Google things and how they want us to do their hair. They're able to bring pictures of what they have seen somewhere, and they bring it to us and say, can you achieve this? And it's up to us that if you can be able to achieve it, and advise them better to say, yes, we can achieve this particular hairstyle. So in a hair industry, this is what has changed. But in the community, we find that most people cannot even afford certain salons. That is why the mushrooming of people who come from outside, it's easy for them to enter the space. Because let's make an example that I'm charging my haircut 100 rands, and there's somebody that is charging 20 rands under the tree, machines unsterilized and so forth. They will still go there because 100 rand for them, he still feels that he should be able to buy bread or milk with the change. But people, because are getting educated and are getting smart, hygiene becomes a major role in the industry, that people now, they start choosing where they go based on their health.